Welcome to the Becoming Shameless podcast. I'm your host, Nicholas Wallace. Today we have our guest,
Sheridan.
and today's episode is called Where Are You Going? And we'll be discussing purpose. So, do you feel like we have like a predestined fate, or do you choose your fate?
I feel like personally it could be either or, because I feel like when you're walking in your journey of like following, your faith or your religion, there's gonna be something that's already for you. But if you're not already like walking with your religion or walking with your faith, I feel like it could be that you make it your purpose because you don't have anything guiding you or leading you to your purpose. You're kind of just doing it yourself.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I feel as if like it says in the Bible, like God will align your steps. So it's like you move on your own, but it's kind of like if you're riding a bike, you have training wheels, like something's gonna keep you on track. But in the journey of life, you must go through certain things that you may not feel like, assist you, but everything always works to your good, honestly. So I agree. I think, especially like at our age, because we're like in our early 20s, people struggle with, they struggle with the patience aspect, especially with like social media. I feel like you're always comparing yourself and you're seeing what somebody else got going on to the point you're kind of becoming impatient with yourself, and like your brain isn't fully developed till you're 25. So I feel as if we should probably as a society like stop rushing our youth.
But yeah, like I was saying, I feel like we as like 21-year-olds, well, I'm 22 now, but like in our early 20s, like we struggle with like our identity and like who we are as individuals. And I feel like when you come to college, like that's your place to kind of find who you are outside of your household and all that stuff. So yeah, and I feel like sometimes it's just hard for us because I don't know, like being 20, you don't really know what you're gonna be doing when you're 40.
For sure.
Or like, and I feel like that's another thing that I like feel about college though, is kind of like, dang, you're coming into this thing 18 years old and you're supposed to pick a major and you're supposed to already know what you want to do and all that stuff. And I feel like that's a lot of pressure, and I feel like that's why you have to have something guiding you. And I feel like that's why like later on in life, a lot of us find our faith, or we find like our purpose or our passions, because at the end of the day, you have to have something that fuels you. You can't just be like walking around here with no destination, because you're gonna run out of motivation.
Yeah, you gotta check that GPS for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think where part of the problem is we fall in love with end goals too much. And when you find an end goal, you fail to realize you're not enjoying the experience that is life itself. And I think we're like too hard on ourselves, especially like growing up in this generation. Like you're always at a point where you're always being constantly reminded, like, what do you want? You go home for Thanksgiving break. Oh, so what you feel like you want to do? Like, it's always constant pressure to the point you're not even fully enjoying the journey. It's kind of like if you're driving and you're like questioning me every move I make when I drive.
Exactly.
It's gonna make you mess up. So I feel as if we need more grace for the youth, because I feel like most people don't come into themselves maybe into their 30s or 40s. And honestly, I think personally, most people never come into themselves, because I feel like based on last episode, you kind of are who you hang with, and I feel like a lot of people's values are external. When your values are external, you'll never be truly happy. But yeah, I genuinely don't believe a lot of people want to accept their purpose, because their purpose is aligned with their sense of self. Like, God can call you to do a lot of things in different ways. Even a janitor may have a purpose, but people they low-key want the praise or the acknowledgement or validation, like from the self, that they're this mighty being. And it's like, no, like sometimes your calling is something super simple. Like a teacher just teaching 5-year-olds, but at the end of the day, she's awakening minds of the youth, and people don't realize the importance of that. So I feel like when people start accepting their like purpose and not wanting to be this grand purpose, like you're a hero, then people can move within it. Just accept where you are and what's for you. Because people always want to run from their purpose. Like even like in the Bible, like Jonah didn't want to do what God said because he knew it was kind of scary. But like a lot of people are just either scared or lazy, so they don't move within their purpose.
Yeah, that's true. And like, I don't even know. I have no any 2 cents on that, honestly. Like, that was real. Like,
For sure, like I feel a lot of times we run from our purpose because it doesn't align with who we view ourselves to be. If I think I'm this outstanding, you know what I'm saying, person, why would I wanna, you know what I'm saying, sweep floors?
Mm.
But like people don't realize in moving towards your purpose, everything teaches you. So like those down seasons where you're sweeping floors, you have no money, you know what I'm saying? That's to humble you. Everything always helps you. Heartbreak teaches you how to love and it teaches you lessons on how to heal, you know what I'm saying? But people don't know how to look at it because people usually look at life from the glass half empty type of view rather than half full. But at the end of the day, it's either a lesson or a blessing. And even then, the lesson still is a blessing because everything adds towards your character. And if you have no character, how can you move within your purpose?
You can't.